Hey everybody, this is Jeff Amerine, founder and managing director of Startup Junkie. Startup Junkie is an entrepreneurial support organization. We're here to provide free services. We run accelerators. If you want to learn more about what we can do for you, check us out at startupjunkie.org.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Startup Junkies podcast. Thank you for tuning in from wherever and however you're tuning in from. My name is Daniel Koonce, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Jeff Amerine and Harrison Kitson. Jeff, Harrison, how you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing swell.
Yeah. Weather better in Alabama than it is here in Arkansas, Harrison?
It's rainy and dreary. It kind of resembles a summer day in England over here at the minute.
Well, it's about the same over here. But today we have the pleasure of introducing our new friend, Anna Buckley. She is the founder of PICNiC. Anna, how are you doing today?
Doing well. It's great to be here. I'm super excited.
And you're in Washington, D.C., correct?
That is true. And it is also rainy and dreary here. So the whole country must be covered by a cloud.
Okay, so we all got the gloomy vibes on Monday, it seems like. Well, yeah. Anna, the way we kind of like to start these off, kind of give us the elevator pitch for PICNiC.
Yeah, so I founded PICNiC back in March, and I took a classic plate design called Cabbageware and made it out of a hard plastic called melamine. And this is a traditional and a timeless look, but there was a gap in the market back in March because the plates were only offered in ceramic. So I created PICNiC and provided melamine plates to fill that gap and help people elevate their indoor and outdoor dining experiences with well-made, functional, and beautiful Cabbageware plates.
That's awesome. So you're a very freshly founded company.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, I got the idea back in March and didn't receive the plates until September. So it is all very new.
Very cool.
Give us a little bit more of your origin story. What came before PICNiC?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated from the University of Arkansas in 2023. And after graduation, I moved up to Washington, D.C. for my job. I started at EY. I do business consulting for the government and public sector, and I started that in October of 2023. So I had a little break after graduation. But yeah, I've been up here ever since. It's been about a year, a little over a year, and working full-time at EY, and started PICNiC on the side just as a little passion project, side hustle, something fun, and just to fill my time.
How did you kind of...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
How did you get into making ceramics? What's your artistic background more so than just your work background as well?
Yeah, I've always really been interested in entrepreneurship. I've always had a passion for it and found it incredibly interesting. So when I got the idea, it was more so, it was an opportunity for me to start something of my own and just dive into entrepreneurship more so than, I guess, the artistic side of it. I worked with someone to design the plates, so it wasn't my actual artwork on the plates.
Selling direct through your website?
Yeah, I have a website through Shopify where I sell directly to consumers, but then I also sell wholesale through a marketplace called Fair.
Very cool.
So far, what's been the most surprising thing about the entrepreneurial journey?
I would say the most surprising thing is just, I guess, how it's all really word of mouth is how things get spread. I kind of thought I'm on this Fair marketplace and I thought, oh, this is great. Being on this platform, other stores can discover you through that. So I thought, okay, then I'll probably get discovered by a lot of people. But truly, the stores that I'm in right now, it's been a lot of just word of mouth, and one store will tell another store and they'll place an order. So currently in 7 states and the UK, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's something we definitely seen here in Northwest Arkansas, just kind of building through a community. So that's really cool. You've been able to identify that in DC as well. So you're a full-time business government consultant and you're an entrepreneur. How do you balance the two?
Yeah, I I have to say, I've always been really good at managing my time. I'm super type A, so my planner is like my best friend. And I also love to stay busy. So it really is, after work, I'm like twiddling my thumbs. What do I want to do? I want to be productive, busy, and challenging myself. So I kind of work a lot though after hours, but it's fun to me. So it doesn't really feel like terrible, like work or anything like that. It's more fun.
Yeah. It seems like if you're going to be doing full-time and starting something on the side, you have to enjoy it. You have to have fun with
absolutely.
it. So Cabbageware, for our listeners who maybe are just listening on Spotify or maybe Apple Podcasts, can you kind of describe a little more what that is?
Sure. Yeah, so it's a classic design. And like I said, it's typically made in ceramic, but Cabbageware is a type of dishware that looks like a cabbage is my best way to describe it. That, it comes in like dinner plates and salad plates and bowls and all sorts of dish servingware. And so it's really fun. It's unusual and whimsical, and I really like it.
So Cabbageware is ceramics in plates that look like cabbage. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like then.
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, very neat. Kind of going back to your inspiration, you said that you had identified a gap in the market. What was that gap, and when did you realize that you could be the one to fill it?
Yeah, so actually back in March, I was really wanting to have a picnic on the National Mall with some friends. And in my ideas for what it would look like, I thought, it would be really cool to have some durable cabbage plates to use. And I was wanting ones made of plastic that could travel well and were well suited for outdoor dining. And so I got on the internet and started to look, but I could not find them anywhere, which was bizarre because I feel like whenever you look something up, you typically find at least one option, right? So then my wheels really started to turn and I thought, okay, this could be something fun to try and just see if I can, make it myself. And so I started to contact manufacturers and try and figure out how I could go about doing this, and ended up getting connected with a design and development company who focuses on consumer products, and they're out of New York. And so they were able to help me figure out like this is possible and provide me with the pricing and the minimum order quantity and all that information. And so once we kind of got all that sorted out, I decided to take the leap and go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you kind of literally identified the problem because you yourself had it.
Yeah. And then I went to some boutiques and asked the store owners, kind of pitched the idea and tried to see if, they thought it would be a good idea, if they thought it would sell. And I received some really positive feedback. So that was definitely the push I needed to take the leap.
That's awesome. So your customer discovery really was just going to these boutiques.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool. Well, it seems like you identify. Oh, go ahead.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the problems you've kind of faced along the way, how you've gotten through them, and maybe anything that, I know it's only been a short journey so far, but potentially anything that you would have done differently having learned that?
That's a good question. I would say something I wasn't expecting was how long the order would actually take to be manufactured and then shipped. So I was really hoping, I had this idea in March and I was hoping to launch it by the summer. Melamine is a common material to use during the summer and the spring when people are dining outdoors. So I was really hoping to get the products here by the summer. However, it just took longer than I was expecting. And it was a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? So they arrived in September and it's, still worked out, still been able to make sales. But like I said, I was really hoping to hit the summer. So I'm looking forward to this summer and spring and the push that'll come with that.
What are you doing to be prepared for next summer?
Yeah, I would say I'm just trying to like cold call places and email places and start to plant the seeds and establish relationships.
Yeah, that's very cool. Go ahead.
Are you doing any, just to follow up, are you doing any influencer marketing? Are you trying to get other people that are in the space out talking about what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I have worked with two influencers. One is in Northwest Arkansas and the other is in Atlanta. The people in Atlanta, they do more tablescape. It's really tablescapes, like setting tables and for hosting and using pretty plates and placemats and all the things. So that's what they kind of specialize in. They have that niche. And then the influencer in Northwest Arkansas is more generic, like homemaking and lifestyle.
So a big part of Startup Junkie is our events. We had over 200 events last year in 2023, ranging from pitch competitions to networking opportunities to educational workshops. And these are always free for everyone to attend. They support entrepreneurs here in Northwest Arkansas, and we want to see you at Startup Junkie events. To learn more or sign up, visit startupjunkie.org.
And then kind of in terms of your own marketing, is there an avenue that you found most effective or used best besides just word of mouth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that being on Instagram is a really good platform, and specifically using Instagram Reels, because those reach a lot larger audience of non-followers than traditional posts would. So I think that's been really effective in gaining followers, views, all the things.
How have you found making that content? I know that's a challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs face, and I guess people our age find that easier than an older demographic that's coming into entrepreneurship. But have you are you natural with that, or is that something you've had to work on?
I would say I'm kind of a natural at it, not to brag, but I also manage two other social media accounts, so I'm definitely have a lot of experience in managing accounts for brands. So it hasn't been a big learning curve at all, which is nice.
Have you tried dipping your toes into YouTube Shorts? Because our own Harrison Kitson is kind of the king of YouTube Shorts.
I have not.
Well,
Harrison,
it's a pretty good avenue.
It's the exact same. I mean, it's kind of the exact same thing as Instagram Reels, realistically, right? But I just run it through Premiere Pro, have cute little captions, maybe some music in the background. Just that kind of thing.
Do you use TikTok as well?
We do not use TikTok. Trust me, I have been asking people if we can use TikTok for a while, and I usually get a no.
Yeah. I feel like people are either do Instagram Reels or TikTok. Maybe YouTube Shorts is another category to throw in there as well.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, Anna, it sounds like you do the marketing, you do all the social media stuff. Is it just you on the PICNiC team, or do you have other people working on this project with you?
It's just me.
It's just you. It's a one-man shop. Are there any downsides or even benefits to having a solo team?
Oh, I would say the biggest benefit is being able to make all the decisions on your own and not having to vie with anyone else on the direction you want to take. Just to have that complete ownership is a huge perk, I think.
And
I'll say it would be nice
to that as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it'd be nice to shrug off some of the not so glamorous responsibility, like lugging 25-pound boxes to and from my storage unit. But, it's all part of it. So,
yeah. So let's look into kind of the future for PICNiC. Outside of Cabbageware, are there any other products or collabs that you see happening down the line?
Yeah, so I did just do a giveaway with two other small businesses, which was really fun. So I definitely am looking to continue to do that. I think it's a great way to reach a larger audience and offer something fresh to your followers. As far as expanding, I would love to dive into the rest of all that Cabbageware is, because right now I'm just make a salad plate. And so, I'd love to do a dinner plate and a bowl and expand and really make it a whole line of Cabbageware. But as of right now, no immediate plans, but in the future, for sure, would love to do that.
Very cool. We'll keep our eye out for that. So let's say 5 years down the line, what does success look like for you and for PICNiC?
I've always thought of success as the ability to mentor others. I think it really started during my time at Arkansas in business classes when business owners would come in and share their experiences and their stories. And I always thought that was so cool to be able to stand in front of people and share your story, inspire them, and show off your success. And also provide opportunities to younger people through mentorship or, connections, your network, and maybe a job. So to me, that really is that's the ultimate. The goal is to be able to be that person.
Yeah, that's a really unique goal for success right there. I like that. Harrison,
I was going to say, is there anything in particular you're hoping to teach people, or kind of you talk about those younger people that you wanted to give opportunities? Is there anything in particular you want to teach as your?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I love hearing about from older people or more experienced people is really their story. So, and I love entrepreneurship. So I love to listen to the Startup Junkie podcast or How I Built This by NPR. And so I think that's so fascinating. So that's kind of, wouldn't say I would be teaching anyone anything, but you'd be sharing my story and my journey. And I think that's pretty fascinating.
Are there any key moments that stick out in your story? Maybe whether it's a mentor you had that kind of puts you on the right path of entrepreneurship?
Well, I mentioned, the U of A and the Walton College, and I really do think that there were some key moments during my time in school. I'll say it's kind of a full circle moment being here because during my sophomore year in one of my classes, someone from Startup Junkie came to speak to us, and that was my first introduction to the company, and I just found it super fascinating, and I really loved her presentation. And so junior year, I was on the hunt for an internship in the fall semester, and I went to a few banks in the area. I was a finance major, but I also stopped into Startup Junkie with my resume and kind of pitched myself to whoever was in the room and told them that I was looking for an opportunity if they happened to have anything. And a woman named Katie Thompson was in the room at the time, and she picked me up. And she brought me on with the Science Venture Studio as a commercialization fellow for that semester. And so that was a really cool opportunity. And I was super excited to have that connection with Startup Junkie then. And then later on in college, I guess still junior year, but maybe the next semester, I joined SAIC. So are you all familiar with that class?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was really cool too, just to gain the real world knowledge and to run a business was awesome. So I would say those were some important moments in shaping my entrepreneurship experience, because they really allowed me to get some hands-on experience and establish some connections. And
do you ever see this become full time, or do you see it as a really cool side hustle and you stay with the day job?
I definitely like to stay with the day job for at least a few more years. I feel like there's so much I can learn from being a part of a big company that I wouldn't be able to learn myself. So I kind of want to pay my dues and for a few years and really figure out the lay of the corporate land. And then I would certainly love to take it full time if it allowed me to in a few years.
Have you had time to dive into the DC startup scene at all? Have you made some connections there?
I have not, but I know there's, what's the program called, 100 Cups or something?
1 million cups.
1 million cups.
Okay, and they have chapters all around the country. Is that right?
That's correct.
They do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check out the DC one.
There's probably one in DC and Northern Virginia and maybe suburban Maryland. I mean, it's such a densely populated area. There's bound to be something like that you can plug into.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you mentioned kind of wanting to stay in corporate for the next couple of years. Sometimes a common theme we see with some of our guests is corporate evil, corporate bad, but it seems like you've kind of enjoyed your time. Is there anything you've learned from being in corporate America so far?
Oh, yeah. I've learned a lot. I definitely can understand why people think corporate evil. I mean, it's interesting being part of such a large corporation. You don't, know everyone, which is a little bit strange and can feel a little cold at times, I suppose. But I definitely have learned like just kind of the lay of the land and how to do things, like how to operate meetings and how to speak with coworkers, and just really the cut and dry how to on some of the business communication, which I think has been really helpful. But yeah, I do run the social media for 2 other businesses, and so that's a much smaller team. So I see both sides of it, and it's interesting to compare them.
Yeah, would you recommend DC as a place kind of for young entrepreneurs and also just recently graduated college students too, to kind of come to and start their careers at?
Absolutely. I think, like I said, I haven't really plugged much into the entrepreneur scene here yet. I'd love to, so I can't really speak on that. But as far as young college grads, I think it's a wonderful place to be. I mean, so many people are young people working on the Hill here, and then I've met a ton of consultants, doing government consulting, and so it's a hodgepodge of people, and I think it's a great place to meet people from all over.
Yeah, that's awesome. So a couple years down the line, you gain all this knowledge and you're ready to give back, start mentoring people. Are you going to do it in DC, or are you going to maybe come back to Northwest Arkansas?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like I'm very, very much the 20-something that just, I don't know. The whole world is like an opportunity and it's so exciting, but I really don't have many solid plans. So just kind of taking it day by day. I will say, like, DC is a very transient city. And so I have my friends here now, which has been fun, but it's like when people start to move, maybe I'll feel the itch to move as well. We'll see. Yeah,
it's up in the air. We shall see.
Absolutely. I love Northwest Arkansas, though, and great culture for sure, especially entrepreneurship culture. It's really amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got a lot to look forward to in the future. Well, I'm sure you have a bright future ahead of you, and you're just now getting started with your young career. But if you had to take a step back and you had a time machine and you had to go back and tell younger Anna a piece of advice, it could be 8-year-old Anna, it could be 20-year-old Anna, whatever you want to choose, what would that piece of advice be?
It's a great question. I guess I would tell this to high school Anna. But I would say to continue being involved in teen boards and extracurriculars outside of school. And, I was in a lot of leadership programs. And I think that anything that was outside of my bubble and was outside of my regular just school curriculum was so valuable. And I think back on it so often because I met so many different types of people and I learned different things and I got to meet things that my classmates weren't. And so I think that at the time it was kind of a chore sometimes to go to those things and sign up and do the interviews and everything, but it really was such a valuable experience. And I think that it set the precedent for me throughout college and even now to always go the extra mile and look for those extra opportunities that could benefit you in ways that maybe you're not, getting that experience in your day-to-day.
Yeah, that's great advice. So if there are any young high schoolers, maybe college kids listening, step outside your bubble, get out there, try something new. You never know where it might lead you.
Absolutely.
So Anna, if we have any listeners or viewers who want to learn more about you or learn more about PICNiC, where should they go?
Yeah, so you can find my website. It's www.wellplatedpicnic.com. And my Instagram handle is also @wellplatedpicnic. So you can follow me there.
Awesome. Anna, thank you so much for your time today. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll keep up with PICNiC in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Absolutely. If you would like to get your business in front of the Startup Junkies audience, sponsor the show. If you'd like to learn more about sponsoring the Startup Junkies podcast, email us at team@startupjunkie.org.